Hello and welcome to episode 125 of
The Eldritch Podblast.
I am Margaret.
I'm Jack.
And hello.
Hello.
How are we doing?
Brilliant.
What? Oh my God! What's
How
going?
are you?
No, the entity. Give him back his pet.
Feelings.
Put the pet back in his step.
Is Pepto-Bismol?
Yes, exactly.
What's Pepto-Bismol?
It's to settle your hurty tummy.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is it like to settle a upset tum-tum?
Yeah. Yup.
Interesting.
Yup. It's a bright pink liquid. You've
Is
never
it?
seen
I don't know.
Pepto-Bismol before?
No. Do we even have it here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's
You're
necessarily
gonna
Pepto-Bismol.
commit to that?
I don't know if it's necessarily Pepto-Bismol, but we
The
definitely...
The Pepto-Busy?
The only reason I know that is because when I was a youth and I used to go out drinking a lot, I
would never.
have quite a bad alcohol intolerance. So the next day, there would be a lot of being sicky-wicky in every aspect.
Yeah, you
so,
do like to be sicky-wicky. When
do
you
like to be sicky-wicky. Well, we went out on Friday.
Well, we didn't.
Well, no.
So we actually...
we didn't.
Actually didn't. We went on stream and we listened to emo anthems.
Yep.
And we just hung out while we were getting ready to go out. And we went to pre-drinks with our friend Matthew's house, who we played Dungeons and Dragons with.
Yep.
And then it got to about 12 o'clock and everyone was like, what if we just stayed in?
Oh.
What if we just hung out together in the house?
What if we just stayed at home?
What do we reckon?
Yeah. And what they don't know is, like when you're at like pre-drinks or like a house party, like, as the night goes on, people kind of start to separate. People like conjoin in the kitchen.
Conjoin?
Yeah.
They conjoin in the kitchen. Interesting. They begin to fuse and meld their bodies together in the kitchen.
Exactly.
Interesting.
People converge in the kitchen.
Conjoin.
And like groups just separate.
Yeah.
Everyone went to the kitchen to get a drink, apart from me, Jack, and our friend Wabs.
Yeah.
Wabs was like, "It's 12 o'clock, I wonder if we just don't mention going out, if we'll just stay here." And we were like, bet. All right, yeah. Let's not mention a single word about going out.
Yeah.
And then you know what? The group from the kitchen came in and they were like, "Hey, it's midnight. Should we stay?" And we were like,
"What?
God,
That's
what?
a radical." I really, really wanted to go to the club though. My goodness, I can't believe this.
Goodness.
Yes.
So we stayed in it, and you know what? It was so much better.
Yeah, Josh was there.
Yeah, Josh came as
Another
well.
member of our D&D party.
We met some new people.
Yes.
I shan't, I was going to say for their privacy,
Right,
I shan't
let's
dox
out
them.
every single one
Yeah,
of
let's
them.
dox them.
Every single one of them.
Yeah, it was really, really
was
good
really
fun.
fun,
It was
yeah.
so much fun, actually.
We had a brilliant time.
Yeah, and you didn't drink anything.
Nope,
God,
as I
Matthew
don't.
very kindly bought you alcohol-free beers, which was very
Alcohol-free
sweet.
fruity cider.
Yes, indeed.
Which I had one of.
Yeah, you brought an energy drink.
Yes.
If
which I
you
couldn't
were
finish.
if you were on the stream, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna have 3 drinks before we go out and 1 drink when we get to the club. And everyone was like, Margaret, 3 drinks when you haven't drank in like what 2 years? They're
You've
like, that
drank-
might be a
Drank,
much.
more than that.
Certainly haven't.
Sorry.
No, certainly not.
Because you don't mind having a drink like every now and then. Like
Didn't
if
drink a single thing in 2023.
Prosecco.
Oh, at Christmas, one, which also ruined. Like I was from $1 fizz
Yep.
at Christmas. I was like, woof, feeling that.
Woo.
So I ended up just having 2 drinks and then moved on to
2
water.
very small
2
drinks.
very tiny drinks.
But the thing is, right, we stayed there till about 2:30, and then we got home and had something to eat, and because we were starving, and we went to bed. I still woke up not hungover because I didn't drink anything, so
Yeah.
I couldn't possibly be hungover.
Nope.
But my throat hurt.
Yeah.
and
Because we were gassing
I
on
was
all night.
and I was really tired.
Yeah.
It took a lot out of me.
I woke up with a headache and I was like, man, that's too bad. But yeah, all of that to say, it was a great time.
Yeah.
And thank you so much, everyone who came on stream. Again, I know I'm going to say this every single time we do something different other than D&D stuff on stream. It's really nice to know that you guys just show up for whatever we
just wanna
do.
hang and chat.
Yeah.
We still end up talking about D&D at some point.
We did, and we just listened to emo bangers and just hung out, and it was really fun.
We will have already at this point played Pokemon again on
Yes,
Tuesday.
we will have.
Thank you all so much for all of the support that you show us for the Pokemon streams.
So much
because
fun.
so far they've been brilliant.
Yeah,
and I
so
imagine
much
this
fun.
Tuesday's was brilliant also.
Yes, indeed. Watch everyone be like, boo, we hate you.
We hate Pokemon and we hate
Oh, we
you,
hate
you're
this
the
game.
worst.
Boo. Yeah, I'm trying to think.
No, but we must apologise.
Oh goodness gracious! Yes,
We
yes,
must
we did. We
apologise
did a boo boo
because we did not announce the winner for the homebrew challenge.
Yes,
on Monday.
Yep. You know what?
Simply because we forgot.
Simply forgot.
Simply forgetting.
Again, we're kind of in the middle of filming. Like, we're changing our filming schedule again. And we've been catching up on loads of filming's been weird.
Yeah.
We just completely forgot that was the episode with the winner.
Yep. The winner.
Our deepest apologies.
Our deepest sorrowful apologies.
And I suppose
Heartfelt.
if there's nothing else really to go through, shall we just
read them out?
Yeah, shall we just get into it?
Yeah, get it read out.
I can't think of anything else that.
I mean, before we go any further, clogging time.
Oh my god!
It's clogging time down in the comments. Everyone's been going feral for the clogging time.
You have been going feral for the clogging time.
We might potentially do something for clogging time because you've been showing clogging time a lot of love.
According to whom?
Me.
Interesting.
Me and me alone.
Interesting.
I will raise the banner of clogging time.
Yeah.
I will ride it into battle.
Yeah.
And I will show everyone.
Yeah. All right.
That clogging time is a thing.
Yeah, damn, y'all love clogging time. You do be riding hard for clogging time. And I'm like, are you riding hard for clogging time because I can't stand it?
Potentially.
Is it like squad blasters all over again?
And they might get a new t-shirt out of it.
Over my dead body.
But what if I designed it?
Yeah.
Or what if I did it all?
Yeah, all right. Well, if you did it all, then touche.
What if I did everything for it?
All right, well, go on then.
Yeah.
Would you buy a clogging time t-shirt?
I won't design it because then nobody would buy this.
No, not true. Not true. No way. Not true.
Yeah, no way. Nobody would buy anything that I designed.
Yes.
So down in the comments, it's clogging time. We do be clogging on this day of our Lord.
Yes.
What day is
I think this is Thursday.
Like
yeah.
The 3rd of April or something like that?
Yeah, something like that. Are we filming on April Fool's? No, we're not.
Nah, it was fooling time.
It was fooling time.
We did be fooling though.
What can I say? But yes, if you enjoy our content, if you're having a good time here, please throw us a like, comment, and subscribe. Yeah. You have no idea how much it helps. We say it every time. You have been launching our videos into the stratosphere.
Yes.
I nearly swore. So we very much appreciate. Yeah, 2 minutes. 2 minutes.
Then we can just swear our heads off.
Yeah. So thank you so much. You have no idea. We see all your comments. We see your likes. We see the shares. We see
yeah.
Have a dream where you could. We see it all. So
we see the clogs.
Yeah. Yeah.
All of the clogs.
So thank you so much. So appreciated. And right, shall we just get into the homebrew winner?
The homebrew winner.
And again, this should have been read out on Monday, and we deeply apologize for that. So this is the homebrew challenge winner for the theme of dreams and nightmares, and this was a wand or a staff. So the winner for wand or staff goes to Teddysaurus.
Teddysaurus, big enjoyer of the homebrew challenge. Loves it so much. It almost enters every single time.
Yeah, I feel like that is indeed the truth.
The work that they do is just so good.
Agreed.
So thank you so much.
So congratulations, Teddysaurus. He uses
Terry.
Congratulations, Terry.
Terrysaurus. Terry sauce.
So he uses he/they pronouns, and the socials are Teddysaurus on everything. Teddysaurus with an E. Now with a 3.
With an E. With an E.
With a 3.
Teddysaurus has an E.
Yeah. So the name of this is Aurora Staff. It is rare and it requires attunement. So the description: a twisting staff of ash and elder tree branches, a sprig of lavender, a vial of sand, and a pouch of gemstones dangle from the staff with a leather cord.
Love that description.
So the lore. The Summer Court awards their most loyal members with weapons that amplified their magical abilities. Aurora was one of the most fearless, but most... Matt Mercer's like, Aurora. Aurora was the most fearless, but the most kind of her consort. It was rare for an Eladrin to leave the Summer Court willingly, but Aurora was allowed. She walked from the Feywild, strolled through the Hells, swam the Astral Sea, and ran to the material plane. Aurora found friends. She found a family. She traveled the material plane, learning about the wonders of humans, the inventions of dwarves, the society of elves, and the ferocity of the orcs. Aurora cared for each one and provided aid where she could. When it was time to return to the Summer Court, she hesitated. That hesitation was all it took for her mind to be made up. Aurora closed the portal to the Feywild, her friends looking at her. The silence hung in the air as a slight summer breeze came through. As Aurora turned back to her friends, a single tear came upon her cheek. The first of many as she embraced them. She couldn't leave them. She needed them. Aurora stayed and joined her friends. Aurora stayed and fell in love. Aurora stayed and built a home. And Eladrin never left the summer court willingly, but Aurora was the first and she chose to stay. Aurora stood by her friends, holding their hand and showing illusions of their adventures as they took their final mortal breath.
Oh, God.
In her old age, Aurora placed her gifted staff, the one that had bested demons and foiled the plots of hags, inside an old case. She embraced her winter form, taking an ice-cold final breath as she joined her friends for one last mighty adventure. And that is where you find the staff. This twisted wooden staff is with still full pouch of gems, a half-empty vial of sand, and a sprig of lavender, just as calming as the day that it was picked, connected by a leather cord. First of all, what the hell?
What a brilliant little
what the
story.
Hell? And I was like, man, I've already cried at this once. I'm not going to cry at this again. Wrong!
Ain't no way I'm going to cry again.
Jesus.
You can't best me twice,
yeah,
Titty Saurus.
No, correct. No, you did.
No, you did.
It's for me, it's just where it's like she stayed and joined her friends.
Yeah.
She stayed and she fell in love. She stayed and she built a home. There's something about that writing where I love that form of writing.
Yeah.
And I think that's beautiful.
I love the description. It just starts off so nicely. Like
I know.
The ash tree with the like vial of sand and the sprig of lavender and stuff like that. I just think I can almost just picture it in my mind.
Yeah. And I love it when writing they do the juxtaposition of like the very first thing you see in the intro is the very last thing you see in the ending.
Outro, yeah.
I love that. I love a callback, to be honest.
I love a callback. And it's just a brilliant little story. Just
gorgeous.
So much world building.
Yeah, agreed.
In such a short, 3,000 characters?
Yeah, agreed. Well and also there is actually mechanics to the staff as well. So the properties, if this staff is your spellcasting focus, the wielder deals maximum damage on the first spell per long rest. Love that.
Love it.
Whenever you take a short rest, you and all allies gain HP equal to your spellcasting modifier, as well as any hit dice spent. And this feature can be used twice per long rest.
Love it.
Right?
No, just another little bump.
If you are conscious, you can spend 1 minute tapping into the mind of a sleeping creature. They must succeed a wisdom saving throw against your spell save DC. If they succeed, they are awoken. If they fail, you learn their deepest dream or darkest nightmare. Any check or spell effect to persuade, intimidate, frighten, charm, or deceive the creature is done with advantage for the next 7 days. I love this as well. I love like a long-lasting thing. And then finally, the wielder can cast the dream spell once per long rest.
Love it.
The messenger can be you and up to one other willing creature instead of only one creature. Which again, nice. I like the actual properties of the staff, wonderful. The story of the staff, phenomenal. Yeah, really incredible writing.
I do love that mechanic of the first spell that you cast.
Me too. I love that.
Is maximum damage.
I love that.
Go on evocation style. Love it.
I absolutely love
really
that.
Love that.
Teddy Saurus, what a brilliant, gorgeous entry.
Big Jeds.
Thank you so very much.
Thanks so much for always entering, and thanks so much for everyone who entered.
Indeed.
And this weekend, on Sunday, we will be doing the Point of Interest, which is the last installment of Dreams and Nightmares in the Homebrew Challenge.
Goodness gracious me.
So come and join us at 7 p.m. GMT on Friday and Sunday on Twitch, and come and enjoy yourself.
Indeed.
And we'll burn through some homebrew and have a little look at it.
Yes, indeed. And you know what? Thank you so much to the reception, because we've only done... at the time of filming, we've only done one Homebrew Challenge stream in the new format. And thank you for all the feedback saying it was much better. Agreed.
Oh my God.
God, we got through all of the submissions in like 2 hours.
Yeah, in like 2 hours instead of doing it for like 5 hours.
Like 6 hours, let's be honest. So thank you. Very, very, very much appreciated. Yeah. And I'm looking forward to reading Point of Interest and finishing up Dreams and Nightmares.
I can't wait for Point of Interest.
Me too. I can't wait for Point of Interest.
It's been what, like nearly 2 weeks? And I've been desperately trying not to look at any.
I know.
I've seen some pictures.
I know. Oh, really? Have you?
I've seen some pictures, yeah.
I haven't seen anything.
I haven't like read through the descriptions or anything, so I'm really excited.
I haven't seen anything.
I think it's gonna be sick. I can't wait. Point of interest was the one I was probably most excited for. That or like culture and religion and things like that.
Yes.
I can't wait for that.
Me too.
Because I think we might actually roll that like this next week coming.
Yes, because we're going to roll on all the new things
that we
first,
haven't done yet.
and then go back into the normal pool.
Interesting.
So yeah,
and then we're gonna have to pick a new.
We're gonna have to pick a new theme, aren't we? Did you like the Jewel theme? Did you
start thinking of themes?
Yeah. Did you like Dreams and Nightmares?
Clogger.
Yeah.
Clogger number 1.
Clogger
number 1.
No.
Start thinking of the next Homebrew Challenge theme.
Yeah. And if you did like the Jewel theme, let us know. We of course we'll be more than happy to do another Jewel theme.
Yeah.
But if you want to go back to just a single thing like poopy butt, then we can.
Poopy butt theme.
Poopy butt.
Poopy butt theme. Love it. That'll go down well, I think.
Congratulations, Teddy Saurus. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
All right. Shall we just get into topic?
Yeah, absolutely.
Bloody hell, that's the quickest we've gotten. And we read out a winner.
I don't think that's the quickest we've ever gotten a topic.
We're
nearly 20 minutes in.
Do you remember in the first couple of videos where we got onto topic in the first 2 minutes?
In the first 2 minutes, because we're like, oh, come on.
Yeah, literally first. And now here we are.
And we're like, wow, that was quick. Only 20 minutes into the video.
So as you can see, you can't see. God, I say this every time. I'm so sorry.
Eyes wide shut.
Yeah, and stuck your eyes. Damn it.
Because of the entity.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. Well, here, I'll tell you. We're doing D&D horror and wholesome stories. Yeah, aren't we just?
Oh my God.
Oh my goodness gracious. We're outweighing the good with the bad.
Yeah?
No, the bad with the good.
No, we're outweighing the good.
No,
we're outweighing the bad with the good.
Right, yeah.
Well, we're not, because we're going to do equal parts of both.
Yeah, I know. So, yeah.
We'll end on a good one so you feel good.
There you go.
What do you think?
Yes, exactly. Yes, we always start with a horror and we end on a wholesome.
Yeah.
And we alternate between the two. These are all submissions. So thank you very much.
Thanks so much. Get your stories in.
Please. We're running short of the wholesome ones.
Oh my God.
So please send them in.
And there's hundreds new of you every month.
Yeah.
So give us your stories.
Yes, we'd love to hear them.
There's what? Like 4,500 of you? I haven't had 4,500 submissions. So give me your stories.
Give me your stories.
Submissions, your unpopular opinions, all of it.
The submission form is in the description below.
Yeah.
And should we just get into it?
Let's do it.
All right. So this first horror story.
Topic.
This has been
1832.
Oh, goodness. Yes. Topic.
Down in the comments. Topic.
Oh, you know what? I'm missing up. Oh, God. Right. You're just going to have to believe me that says topic. It says T0IC space IC.
Yeah. Type that down in the comments. T0IC space IC.
All right. This first one. This has been sent in by Salem, and she uses she, they pronouns.
Very cool.
Beautiful
Thank you very
name.
much.
Beautiful
Salem,
name.
Such a cool name.
A couple of years ago, I signed up for an Eberron campaign at my local gaming store, run by a GM with over 40 years of experience under his belt.
Interesting.
Session 0 lasted about 4.5 hours, with long and thoughtful conversations about our characters' backstories, emotional states at the beginning of the campaign, and pre-existing relationships between party members, which the DM seemed to love. I was thoroughly excited for what I expected to be a roleplay-heavy, story-focused game.
I mean, if you spend that long talking about like emotions and prior connections and stuff like that, you would imagine so.
Yeah, I agree. Especially if the DM's reacting positively to it. Come session 1, we start by arriving at a jungle military base and taking a boat down a river to investigate some aberrational incursions deeper in the wilderness when our boat got caught on the riverbank. My fighter and the party cleric got out to push the boat free when the DM rolled a random encounter, and we were attacked by 2 swarms of quippers. For context, we were a party of 6 level 1s, with the beefiest party member being my turtle fighter at 13 HP. A swarm of quippers deals 14 damage per round and has 28 HP and is resistant to all physical damage. So safe to say, 2 would be very difficult for a level 1 party, especially considering they would only target my fighter and the cleric. The combat started with the cleric trying to cast sleep on the swarms, but the DM ruled that since the swarm is a collection of tiny creatures and not a singular creature, sleep would not affect them, and the only other creature
Don't know if that's how it works, but okay.
And the only other creature in the sleep's radius was the cleric, knocking them unconscious with their own spell. When it came to the swarm's turn, they both attacked the cleric, and the DM ruled that since both swarms rolled the same initiative, they would attack simultaneously. So instead of just knocking them unconscious and giving them 2 failed death saves, the level 1 cleric with 10 HP was dealt 28 total damage and eaten alive in an instant.
I mean, if they're unconscious... Oh, right, okay, because they...
Like double damage.
Okay, because they did double damage. Okay.
Yeah. All my fighter could do was drag the mangled remains from the river and place the unrecognizable corpse on the boat's deck. It took...
That's traumatizing.
That's absolutely heinous. It took everything I had not to chew out the DM right there and there. Let me be clear, I have no issues with meat grinder D&D, and I enjoy playing games where characters are highly disposable if I know that going in.
Yeah.
But the DM...
we know that.
Yeah. The DM advertised that this game would be character-driven and roleplay heavy.
How can anything be character-driven when you're just killing off players
Instantly. I had even asked during Session 0 what the DM's policy on character death was, and he said he preferred dramatic deaths after sessions of build-up. Yet, it seems he made every ruling he could to kill a fresh-faced adventurer in the least dramatic and most humiliating way possible.
So you're a liar that lies. So you lie to everyone's face. That's what you're telling me.
I did not return for a Session 2. And P.S., during character creation, the DM pretty much immediately shot down any character idea that did not align with official Eberron law. The Tortle Fighter was my second idea because my initial idea wasn't lore accurate, as if we weren't playing a game of make-believe. The only reason I got away with a Tortle character is because the DM knew nothing about them and gave a half-hearted sure. Again, I feel like, that's I feel like I kind of understand that take a little bit.
I understand it, but at the same time, can we not just
reflavor something?
Yeah, can we not just reflavor? If you desperately want to play something, can we not just reflavor it so you get the mechanics and the theme and the look and stuff of it?
I feel like that last bit's kind of...
But the rest of it is diabolical.
Man, and you know what? Salem, I'm sorry you experienced this. Doesn't this sound exactly like what we went through?
Yeah. As bad.
No. First of all, no, not as bad.
It does sound quite like what we went
through. Not
as
bad. And I will say, it sounds like the DM here was being intentionally malicious.
Yeah.
The DM we played with was not intentionally malicious, but we did the same thing. We met up 3 times.
2 or 3 times
beforehand.
Like talking about characters, building characters, sending backstories, like just getting to know each other, talking about like the style of game and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But what I just don't get is you're just a liar. You're just lying.
Yeah.
Like if you want to run a game like that, no one's gonna shame you. No one cares. If you want to play meat grinder D&D, where it's rock hard and just like your character can die at any second. If that's what you want to play, then play it.
Even Salem says, like, I would have been fine with that if I knew it.
Be honest.
Yeah.
But don't sit there and be like, oh man, I want build up. If there's going to be character deaths,
I know.
Like, I want build up. I want it to be suspenseful, and I want to like focus really heavy on story and like backstories and things like that. And I love the fact that you're creating all of these relationships, and then to just move the goalposts of the rules to be in your favor, to then just kill a character because you basically wanted to.
Yeah, like I actually can't think of any reason.
Also, not how sleep works.
Yeah,
not how that spell works.
Also, to have them knock themselves I forgot about that part entirely. To have them knock themselves unconscious is devastating.
And wrong.
Yeah, because isn't it just a pool of D6s and you can affect?
It's a pool of D8s. It's 5 D8s at level 1, which is what this would have been. Which, they had something like 20-something hit points. It's massively achievable. Like, it might be on the high end of the sleep spell, but it's definitely achievable. But for them to be like, it's a swarm, so it doesn't work, it's like, not how it works.
Yeah.
Literally just not how it works.
Yeah.
So, and just be honest. But the thing is, you weren't honest, and then you lied, and then you just kill people.
Yeah, I know.
You're just wasting people's time.
Well, that's what I don't understand is, like, again, we say it all the time, oh my God, we're all so busy. Oh my God, we all have so many commitments in our life. Like, wasting even just the time, the 4.5 hours at the session 0, which is, by the way, where you're supposed to iron out all these things.
Yeah, talk about what you want from the game.
Exactly.
Dungeon Master and player.
And then to get to the session and have such an awful time, to not even return to session 2, what a waste of, by the way, everyone's time.
Everyone's time.
Including the DM's time.
And
what a waste.
who's most especially the clerics.
Yeah, Jesus
Oh
Christ.
my goodness.
I know. That absolutely stinks. And you know what? I feel like, I'm not a DM, but I feel like a general rule of thumb is, like, the first 1 to 3 levels are dicey, right? Especially level 1 combat.
Yeah.
Am I correct in thinking the general rule of thumb is don't put in an enemy that could one-shot the players?
I mean, obviously depending on the game, but yeah, I wouldn't. Like, if your damage dice is going to consume an entire health pool of an enemy, the damage dice for the enemy of a player, the enemy's damage dice is just a bit too high. Like, if you're running a combat for level 1 characters, a D4 plus 1, a D4 plus 2 in terms of damage, no multi-attack, like, that's going to already make the combat scary.
Yeah.
That's already going to make the combat enough. You know, yes, you've got to hit and stuff like that, but, you know, if you do hit, like, that's the half of, if not almost all of a lot of people's, like, health pool.
Yeah.
But the thing that I don't get here is just, like, the swarms dealt 14 points of damage. It's just like, are we using average damage types?
Yeah, I know.
Are we using average dice?
Yeah.
To calculate damage?
Yeah.
Because I understand, like, if you want to do that, fair enough. But, like, the only time I've ever used average dice is like when I've got minions, or if I've got like smaller things on the battlefield.
Yeah.
It's just like it hits, it does 5 points of damage.
Yeah.
Instead of having to be like, I roll for this one. They're just like
yes,
small enemies that deal small amounts of damage.
Yeah.
But if these things are like one-shottable and you're just using average damage to one-shot people, you just want them to die.
And like also resistant to all physical damage too.
For
level 1 party?
What do you think? What are you doing?
Yeah, I know. Like, what a shame, because there's nothing worse than being excited for something. And, you know, the DM, obviously, I don't know if it's through lying. I don't know if it's through,
lying.
Like, if it's lying for the sake of people pleasing. Is it lying because you think you can do these things? Or, like, is it lying to be malicious? Obviously, I don't know.
This is lying to be malicious.
But, like, at
this
what
is just
cost?
luring people in so then you can dunk on them so you have a bit of fun.
To what end, though?
And do you want to know what? It's sad, and it's sad that I'm about to say it, but it's sad that it's another fucking 40 years of experience. It's like,
I know.
Do you have any experience?
Yeah, I know.
You're not playing like you do.
Like, I feel like that's it. It sounds horrible, but I hear, 40 years experience, and I'm like,
this is going to be dreadful.
Yeah, this is probably going to be awful. And I understand, right? I understand. Times have changed. The way that we treat people have changed. The way that the games are run have changed.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you don't have to. You can have all those things back
common
from
courtesy changed.
You can have all those things from 40 years ago, but still be able to understand the concept of having fun
and lying.
And you know, also working together.
Yeah.
I hate that. That stinks. If this was, I can't speak for the DM because I don't know, but you know, I can't help but feel like, is this a sense of gatekeeping? Is this a way to be like, yeah, all right, they want to come into D&D, I'm going to show them what it's really like.
I'm going to show them what it's really like.
I'm going to show them what it's really like.
You're not doing anyone any favors.
No, you're not.
Do you want to know what? You're not doing yourself any favors because you're going to have nobody left to play with eventually.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is just the sad reality of it.
Yeah, indeed.
But, like, I don't want to speak for the DM. It's like, I do. You're a liar. You're just a liar. You're just lying. And you're just making, like, people's first experience for the game dreadful.
I know.
And not wanting to come back.
That's
and
it.
And it's so sad because it's just like, you're like, so some of these people are never going to pick up Dungeons and Dragons again.
Because of you.
Some of these people are never going to understand the majesty and the magic that can be Dungeons and Dragons, and how, like, amazing it can be and therapeutic it can be, and, like, how much of a friendship builder it can be for so many people because you just wanted to get a fucking kick.
Yeah, I know.
That's misery.
Yeah, I know. And we say it all the time. It's such a shame that people have such bad experiences with D&D for the first time. If I had an experience like this, and, you know, Salem, I'm not saying that you're new. I don't think you are based on kind of what you said here. But, you know, Like, if that was my first experience to D&D, I'd be like, well, that was stinks.
Fucking pointless.
Oh, that was boring.
That was a waste of everyone's time.
Yeah, well, that was actually boring.
I can imagine we'd get in the car and you'd look at me and you would go, well, I'm never doing that again.
Yeah, 100%. And you know what? This is like, we did the this month on Reddit video, and the person was like, is D&D meant to be this brutal?
Is it meant to be this hard?
Yeah, like, man, people do not realize the responsibility they have when it comes to things like this. And yes, I understand there's going to be people who are like, oh, it's just a game. Oh, it's just a game. And to some people it is, but to others it isn't. And the fact that you're potentially robbing people of seeing the bigger picture more than like beyond the veil of it's just a game. I couldn't ever live my life so unself-aware in treating other people around me like that. I just couldn't.
And I understand that some people can't help being self-aware, but I just can't help it that this isn't you.
Yeah.
I just feel like you've just lured people in so you can just have a bit of a good time and you can just get some kicks and some laughs and go to your friends and be like, guess what I did? It's like, you're not funny and it's not cool.
Yeah.
You're just ruining and you're wasting so many people's time.
That's it. It's wasting people's time that I can't stand.
We have finite time as adults.
Yeah.
And even fucking like the slightly younger generation who are going through like uni and college, because I know that's where a lot of people do get into these things. Like, you don't have that much time.
No.
And to spend 4.5 hours doing session 0 and then do maybe potentially a 4-hour session, you just wasted 8.5 hours of your life.
Yep.
You could be doing so many better things than that, than getting fooled around with this person.
Indeed. Salem, I'm so sorry that happened. That stinks.
That's dreadful.
And I am so glad you never went back for session 2.
Yeah. Good. You dodged a bullet, methinks.
Indeed.
Methinks you dodged a bullet.
Methinks so.
Methinks you dodged a bullet here.
Thank you so much for your submission, Salem.
Thank you so much.
I haven't formatted the document, so I'm going to have to jump around a little bit, and I may not have ordered things correctly.
You want to go to 4 then?
Yes.
So you want to go to 4, then go to 2?
I haven't even formatted it like that, so don't worry.
I've got it. I'm pretty sure you did 3 horror, 3 wholesome, didn't you?
I formatted it like that, so don't worry. So
everyone shout at Margaret in the comments.
You're gonna have to bear with me a little bit in between.
I'm gonna hit you with my clogs.
No,
because you didn't format the episode properly.
You're just gonna have to trust me that this is it. That's a clogging.
That's a clogging.
That's a clogging.
That's a punishment in our religion.
All right, this is the first wholesome, and this has been sent in by Patches, and she uses she/her pronouns.
Patches, thanks so much.
You know what, Patches? I was thinking about you the other day in the least creepy way possible.
Interesting.
I swear. We were talking with all the mods about like back in the days when we used to be in like watch parties and stuff like that. And you know what? You just crossed my mind, Patches. And that's so strange that I thought about you and then I saw a submission from you. So
thanks so much for still being here, Patches.
I hope you're doing well, Patches. And thinking about you.
Thinking about Patches.
Just thinking about Patches.
Thinking about Patches.
Just thinking about Patches. So, the title is Too Long Didn't Read. My wife is awesome, and I love that we get to play D&D together.
What was Patches' pronouns?
She, her.
I thought so, yeah.
This weekend, my group of level 6 in my family game were wrapping up a 2-session investigation of a vampire who has been murdering people in their town.
They didn't know. And then I revealed that they were the vampire. It's like the werewolf story all over again.
A couple bad persuasion rolls led to my wife's character getting locked in a warehouse alone with several vampires. What a treat. She is playing the witch from the Worlds Beyond Number, which is a very cool class, but only has about 35 hit points at level 6.
Abby.
That's Abby.
That's Abby in our campaign right now.
So when the vampires ambushed her, it got very scary, very fast.
Yeah.
The rest of the party was able to break in and help her, but they were already at a bit of a disadvantage. And it started to get very bad when all the PCs got split up, with the witch and the wizard more than 40 feet away from the barbarian and the fighter. The vampire spawn grabbed my wife's PC and brought her down to 7 HP.
Uh-oh.
His second attack was a bite attack, which if it hit did 3d8 damage and killed anyone it brought down to 0 HP.
If the maximum hit points get reduced to 0.
Yep. I had just roleplayed the vampire snarling, "Why don't you just stay down?" So I couldn't very well have him back off. And I started doing the mental preparation for a PC permadeath. Mm-hmm. She is the only one with Revivify. But right before I rolled to attack, my wife said, "Wait, I have a feature." And then she used her feature of her class to curse this vampire and turn him into a pig. Yay!
Oink, oink, motherfucker.
Yeah. I did a whole show of saying what his modifier was and rolling the dice on camera so everyone knew it was an important roll and I wasn't fudging it.
Ooh.
He failed, he turned into a pig, and he spent the rest of the combat chasing her around the battlefield. And at one point, though, the pig did crit and almost knocked her out again. It was such a cool moment that I wasn't expecting at all, and it turned the combat around for the PCs. I was so proud of her, and also really glad that I'd had the vampires start to make another attack on her, because it gave her the chance to be the hero in front of both of our big siblings. My players were all super excited about it when the session wrapped up, and for the last 2 days, my wife and I will randomly shout across the house, "Remember that time Althea turned a vampire into a pig?"
Yeah.
It's going down in our household D&D lore, and we're super excited for our next session.
Love that.
See, again, the joy of D&D.
The joy of D&D. Do you know what it reminds me of? If anyone's watched that clip of Fantasy High, I can't remember what series it was, where Brendan's almost getting like a surprise attack on Abria, and Abria's just like walking through the halls, and then Abria's like, "Wait, I have alert. You can't surprise me." And Brendan's like, and Brendan's already like rolled the dice, and he's getting like super excited, and he's like, yeah. And then Abria's like, "Stop." It's just so good when you realize, like, when it's almost like looking really bad, and then you realize a feature, you realize a magic weapon, you realize something, and it just turns the tide. I do love that.
100%.
Man, vampires are dangerous.
Vampires are so dangerous.
Vampires are dangerous. Anything that reduces you to 0, I don't know, stats or maximum hit points, like it can get out of hand real quick.
I just bit my tongue really hard.
No. Oh, it's okay. It's okay. It looks a little red, but it's okay. It's not bleeding.
Oh God! Ow!
But yeah, man. Like, and I bet the thing is, that's it. You'll just never forget that moment.
Agreed.
You'll never, like, there's so many moments in our campaigns that just live on in our heads forever. Where, I don't know, one of us remembers, the best one is, when you picked up an item that was like the most inconsequential piece of shit item that you never thought about after you picked it up.
Yep.
And then suddenly you're like,
"Oh my God, I've got this.
Can I use this?"
Yeah.
And then the DM's like,
Yeah,
you can.
Yeah.
And then the DM's almost like, "I'm an idiot.
I'm a fool.
I forgot that they had
fool."
this. Yeah. 100%. Like, I tell you, Josh does that all the time.
Yeah, Josh is really good at doing that.
Josh remembers just the most random shit.
He really does.
Just exactly when he needs.
The grenade last session. All of us completely forgot, and he was like, "I'm going to grenade him," and we were like, "Damn, that's a great idea. That's a great idea."
That combat was looking a little scary
it was.
at one point.
No, it was. I agree.
Yeah.
And I think we've all had these moments of doing it, but I remember in the one shot you did, and I was like, "I have knock.
I'm gonna cast knock.
I have knock. Can I open this fucking box with knock?"
And I was like, "Yeah, you absolutely can."
And you know
that
what?
basically saved the entire one shot.
And I literally, it was so serendipitous because I was like, "Man, I'm not gonna need knock.
I'm not gonna need knock.
I'm not gonna need it." But I was like, I might as well. I'll take it.
I can't think of anything else I want to take.
I'll take it just in case. And then also like the Summit Eladrin step to actually pick that to do the damage as well. It felt very good.
Yeah.
But we've all had moments like that.
Man, I do love moments like that.
Me too.
In that clutch moment where you just remember something random that just like squirms you out of a situation.
Yep, totally.
Love it.
And you know what, Patches? I love I completely relate to this whole like, "Do you remember when I did this thing?" Because we do that all the time.
I do
all the time. What a treat.
Brilliant.
Thank you so much, Patches, for your wonderful story. And GG's.
Jed.
Jeds.
Big Jeds.
Big Jeds.
Huge Jeds.
Big Jeds. All right. This... Can you see how much I'm having to scroll? This next horror. This has been sent in by... This has been sent in by Anonymous, and she uses she, her pronouns.
Thank you very much, Anonymous.
Thank you, Anonymous. My friends and I were in an online weekly game that lasted for a year and a half, but recently just came crashing down.
No!
We were having issues with how the game was going, so we asked the DM to have a meeting with us so we could talk to him about our collective concerns moving forward to make the game better for all of us.
Very adult of
very
you.
mature. Very mature
and adult of
100%. Because that is what he's always told us to do. But it went
horribly.
Interesting.
Is my dog licking himself?
No, he's fast. He's fast asleep.
Oh, good.
Oh, he
good
is.
Boy.
He is.
He's such a good boy.
He is out. The few days prior, us players had been talking about how we were feeling because the last sessions had left us incredibly uncomfortable. For context, the party was made up of a majority of women. All of the players are part of the LGBTQ plus community, and the monster he had us fight was a dragon that was just plainly an incel based on his behavior.
Interesting.
Great.
Why is
nice?
Why is a dragon
an incel?
An incel.
It left.
Why? Let's just maybe unpack that slightly of why your magical fantasy dragon is an incel.
Yeah, no, agreed. It left all of us uncomfortable, and as we talked, we realized that lately, a lot of the enemies felt like they were enemies for the simple fact of being sexist or homophobic, as well as an increasing number of NPCs being flirty and horny when it didn't make sense. For example, the female barbarian NPC from a matriarchal society going, "I'll fuck him and get it over with," in regards to the dragon.
What's going on?
That, along with other issues involving character stories, really easy combat, and having to get his attention back during our roleplay moments, it was just a lot that had come up. We thought having a meeting rather than him receiving the same message of conflict 4 different times would probably be more digestible.
I completely agree.
I also completely agree.
I completely agree. That's the best way to go about it.
Yeah. We tried having a conversation with him. We gave him examples of what we didn't like about what was happening, gave him examples of everything we enjoyed and what we wanted more of, and we paused a few times to get his input, which he refused. In the end, instead of talking to us, he left the voice chat and sent a message cancelling the next session. Then he messaged mutual friends to vent and complain about it. Instead of talking to us and being good friends, they told us. Over 24 hours of silence later, he sent a message to all of us, demanding an apology for how badly the meeting had gone, and essentially demanding an apology for being uncomfortable.
Interesting. Did those women require an apology from you when you made them uncomfortable?
Yeah, well, yes, indeed.
I don't think they did. They tried to go very, very adult about it in this way.
Because he couldn't separate himself from his character and took our being uncomfortable with the enemies and NPCs as calling him creepy and sexist.
I don't think you'd be completely wrong there.
Well, reading that message, we knew it was over for us. We shouldn't have to apologize for being uncomfortable and bringing our concerns to him that he had asked us to do. We loved this game. It honestly physically hurts that it had to end like this and then it had to end this way. We thought he was our friend, but his message made it clear that he didn't care about us, just his game.
Interesting.
Man, see, you know what? I feel like, honestly, Anonymous, OP, you and your party did everything 100% correctly.
100%.
You were uncomfortable. You got together with him. Instead, you had the forethought to be like, maybe 4 messages at the same time is bad.
That could be,
that feels like ganging up on.
Yes.
Like, to go and openly, especially because he said, talk to me
Please
if there's anything wrong.
If there's anything wrong.
Like, you've done everything. You know, if this was an advice submission, that's 100% what we would say.
100% what we'd say.
You did everything correctly. And what a fucking shame, by the way, that someone would once again, I think, lie about being so open when they didn't mean it at all.
Yeah. Oh, like, if there's anything wrong, come to me. Let's talk about it. Let's figure it out. Okay, we're coming to you to talk and figure it out. And they're like, rude.
Yeah, like...
That's rude.
Like, and I can't help but feel like, obviously they were never going to take it well, right?
No.
Obviously they didn't mean it. So I'm like, why fucking say it then?
Why say it? Just don't say it.
Like,
if you don't want it to happen, just don't say it.
Like, is it to make yourself look like a better person? That's honestly, the only thing I can... Yeah, it feels very self-serving.
It's self-serving to be like, I'm so open. Yeah. And I'm just so malleable to the situation. If you want to talk to me, I'm just there. Yeah. And like, you're not though.
And like, the thing is, I understand when having conversations, it's hard, by the way.
Yeah.
It's scary. Yes, you can get defensive. Yes, you can get hurt. But ultimately, if you're saying, come to me with any problems, you then owe them to listen to them. I think even if you don't say that, and I think you owe people to at least be able to listen to their concerns.
And when they're like, oh, we paused to let them to let him talk.
Chime in and
which is, good. It's conversation. That otherwise it will just be like a barrage of just us talking to them.
Exactly.
Like, it's good to have those, but then just refusing and then just leaving is just like, you look like a child.
Yeah, indeed.
You look like a child who just clearly doesn't know how to regulate their emotions and feelings,
indeed.
and just have an open conversation about something. It's like, look, if you've fucked up and you just do something wrong unintentionally, it doesn't sound massively unintentional. Sadly, but you know, I can't be the judge of that because I wasn't there and I don't know the situation. But even if it was unintentional, like, it's tough to hear.
It is tough to hear.
When you've made a mistake and you've fucked up.
It is.
But just accept it and be like, do you know what? Yeah, sorry, I won't do that again. Simple.
You know what? If you can't handle it in the moment, because I know it's very, very scary in the moment. Like, if you just say, I've seen this. I'm processing this.
Yeah.
I'll get back to you, but just know I've seen it. And then I also honestly understand going to other friends and being like, this has happened. I don't know. I feel like that's also a very normal thing to do.
But that's clearly not what
they
did.
No, obviously they've fucking whinged about it.
Slagged them off.
Yeah, I know. And then that backfires because they went and told them.
Yeah, because
that's not normal behavior.
Because no one's got any loyalty to you because you're clearly a terrible person.
Absolutely. Just
what?
Tell me you can't face anything. Tell me you've never had a consequence to your actions ever.
But the thing is as well, you're so in the wrong.
Yeah, definitely.
Why are we putting misogynistic dragons in the game?
I know.
Why are we putting sexist tropes in the game and stuff like that?
I know. In a party of mainly women, LGBTQIA plus members as well, to put homophobia in there as well.
And the thing is, we've talked about it before, like, you can put those things in your game with good intent to highlight these things, as long as people are okay with it, as long as everyone's been like, I'm happy searching these things. But the thing is, you clearly haven't done that.
Because they're uncomfortable.
Because they're uncomfortable. Because they didn't know it was going to happen. It's happened and they're uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So you haven't talked about exploring these things before.
Exactly.
We don't have a problem with exploring tough topics.
Yeah, exactly.
Because that's how we
learn.
That's how we learn.
That's how we normalize these things. Yeah.
Things like that. That's how we do it. But the problem is, you've got to take care when you do that. And you've took
100%.
literally no fucking precautions.
Hey, you know what? Let's say, even if this was discussed in session 0, let's say I am going to touch on homophobia. I'm going to touch on sexism. I'm going to touch on misogyny. And then later down the line, someone goes, actually, I'm not comfortable with this anymore. Because you can change your mind. Because you go through different phases of your life, and different things will affect you in different ways at different times. You are allowed to, even if something has been discussed at session 0 for something like that, you're allowed to turn around and be like, actually, I it's too much for me now. And that should also be respected and listened to. Like, man, so frustrating. You know what? What a weird. At the end here, you say he couldn't separate himself from his characters.
Yeah.
But then also, because he couldn't separate himself from his characters, he accused us of calling him sexist. But it's like, well, if the lines are so blurred between you and your characters, then isn't it actually you saying these things?
Doing these things?
By your own admission that you can't separate yourself. You know what I mean?
I just like, there's a moment in your life where you mess up and you should just hold your hands up and just say, I messed up. Sorry, I didn't realize that we weren't comfortable with these things.
Yeah.
I just won't do it again. But instead, you turn around and you say, you all owe me an apology.
You go and you badmouth them to mutual friends.
You slag off your friends and you say that you owe me an apology for making you uncomfortable when they've come to you, like, open and honestly just saying, these things are making me uncomfortable. It's just like, you are a fool.
Yeah, you are a fool.
You look a fool.
And you know what? We all mess up. Oh my God.
Of course we do.
Oh my
Everyone
God.
does.
We're human beings. We mess up. We can mess up catastrophically in our life, right? But what defines you is how you deal with that and how you approach that.
Yeah.
And that says everything I need to know about where this person is in their life
100%.
right now. 100%. And OP, I'm so sorry. The fact that you say we loved this game, it physically hurts, but to be able to put everything else in front of that and recognizing we loved this game, it hurts that we've had to finish it.
Yeah.
But we know that it's over.
That's for the best. Yeah.
Because, hey, no D&D is better than bad D&D.
Yes.
You know?
No D&D is definitely better.
100%.
Because this is bad D&D.
And truly, just because it's over doesn't mean you have to forget your characters.
Doesn't mean you have to stop hanging out with these friends.
Exactly. You can form something else. Use these characters. If you don't want to use their characters again because maybe they feel tainted, you can just finish their stories privately. Write their own ending for your personal self. Share their endings with each other. Come to a conclusion of what you would have liked their endings to be.
Somebody else try and DM.
Yeah. Oh my God, 100%. Man, I'm sorry, Anonymous. That stinks. What a shitty
kicking
fucking freak.
That's dreadful.
Yeah, that stinks. I'm so sorry.
I hate that so much.
I also hate that. All right.
Wholesome number 2.
Bloody hell.
Story number 4, wholesome number 2.
Bloody hell. All right. Okay. This next one, this has been sent in by Crowscarnival or just Crow, and he uses he, him pronouns.
Let's go, Crowscarnival.
This is the tale of my first, almost, character death. This story stars my high elf cleric, who was my first ever D&D character named Icarus.
Very cool.
The party was a tense group. Another party member, Penemui, was tied to my backstory as
who?
Penemui. I had to Google how to pronounce this. Penemue. Penemui.
Is it not Penemue?
Penemue? Maybe. I Googled it and it said Penemui.
Okay. Well, I guess we'll keep going with Penemui.
How about we, for the
you
sake of this...
Penemui and I said Penemue.
For the sake... How about, you know what? I will shorten it to Pen. Just because I don't want to butcher something in your name, to be honest with you. Pen was tied to my backstory as the murderer of my previous party, but they had to work together for good plot reasons.
Okay.
So
Love that.
So it wasn't uncommon for us to separate. Pen, he shortened it to Pen anyway.
Yeah.
Pen had followed a party member, Pascal, to a suspicious warehouse after his plans had been made to sleep in an inn for the night. An NPC party member, Piper, all P names, followed the pair.
PPP.
After some time had passed and they didn't return to the inn. I told him to send a message if things got hairy.
Okay.
It turned out that Pascal had been working for the cult they needed Pen for, a ritual. The NPC finds this information out and is attacked by cult members. He sends a message to my cleric. I'm going to die. Please save Eliana, my character's girlfriend who was missing, petrified by a basilisk, and a good friend of Piper's. Icarus runs to the cult warehouse to save the NPC. It's raining and dramatic.
Oh, there's lightning.
Yeah.
There's thunder.
Oh, there's thunder. There's fog.
There's a street band playing a sorrowful tune.
Yeah.
As you run through the streets, as your feet splash in the puddles.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
The cracked cobblestones beneath your feet.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. The only thing louder than the sound of your feet on the stone is the thoughts in your mind.
And your heart beating.
I'm shaking IRL. I bust the door open and I stand protectively in front of the downed NPC. I perceive one of the cultists dodging their eldritch blast and spare the dying the NPC, but I didn't notice the traitor, our false party member Pascal. He hits us with a fireball. I risk using an amulet. It was a gift from my missing girlfriend and has a high chance to break, and I had never used it before. I roll poorly to teleport both of us. We are in our base, but took damage in the teleport, and we are both downed. Our session ended there.
Oh my God. Of course it did. There's no other way.
Of course.
There's no other way. It has to end there.
Of course. The next session, 9 days later, started with my life cleric, worshipper of Eldath, being given a choice. Rest. Live for eternity in the gardens or return to the world of the living. I see a vision of Piper fighting his own internal battle beside me. I could save him if I just turned down paradise. I do just that. Icarus promised his goddess she'd return and make her proud. Oh, I do just that. Damn.
You do be doing just that though.
Oh, Crow, damn.
Jesus.
Man, again, oh my God, the joy of D&D, am I right?
The joy of D&D and like just good dungeon mastering as well.
Yes,
I think.
Agreed.
Like good dungeon mastering, just like good storytelling.
Yeah, throwing
good
all these twists and turns.
Like just ending it there because it's like we could keep going right now, but if we keep going right now, it's gonna be not as impactful because. Can you hear my dog?
I can hear the dog.
Because next week we're gonna come in with some fucking like death, like death dreams.
Yep.
Like we're on the cusp. Do we like cling on for dear life, or do we just let ourselves go into the warm embrace of our God to live in the paradise gardens? It's just like that's the shit you want to see.
Yep.
Especially if you're a God worshipping D&D player. If you're a God worshipping like PC, like when you go down, you want to see that shit.
Yeah, you do. To have your God intervene, not even necessarily intervene, for your God to be like, hey, look, like you can stop now.
Like just so you know, like you've done good.
Yeah,
like,
you can have your paradise.
I'm gonna welcome you into the gardens.
Yeah,
like I would love to have you here and stuff like that.
But if you you want to keep going,
that's the shit.
I agree.
That's the good shit.
I very much agree.
Good shit.
You know what? This actually reminds me. You know Sherry. With Evermore, when Evermore died and saw her partner again. And kind of danced with death. Again, it's like, do you give up your life to rest forever in happiness with your partner? Or
because you've lived a brilliant life.
Yeah,
and,
you've lived a hard life,
and you've done enough. Like you're accepted in. Like just know at this point in your life, you've done enough to like be in the good graces of your God and like them to accept you in. It's just that's just what people want in D&D. They're just the fucking awesome moments. But man, like I teleport us away, we both take damage and we're down,
we both
and then
down.
the dungeon master goes.
That's what this week. This session.
It's like that's what you should do.
Agreed.
That's what you should do.
Because you know what? Now you have all week to think about this incredible scene.
And it just keeps everyone so excited.
It does. It really does.
And like you as a dungeon master, I mean, like if that happens at the beginning of the session, you can't end the session. But if you know that it's going to end on a combat and stuff like that, and these things happen, it's great. Like that's why most of the time, if I know there's going to be a combat, I'll do it later on in the session.
Yeah.
So, if anything does go wrong, or if anything...
You can kind of end it there.
It's good.
Yeah,
good.
Agreed. I really love that. And you know what? I love that you were, Piper is an NPC, but I love the fact that your character is willing to be like, no.
Yeah.
No, I'm going to save Piper.
Well, because NPCs are important.
Yeah, agreed.
And again, your Dungeon Master's clearly doing something right if you care that much about an NPC.
Yep, agreed.
So, just good all round.
Yeah, beautiful
and I just love that everyone's name starts with P.
Yeah, all P party.
Like Matthew would have an aneurysm.
P for Papas. It's a Papa's party. P for Papas.
If I put that many NPCs in the game with the first letter being the same, Matthew would die.
Oh, he loves alliteration.
Oh, no, but he would get them confused all the time.
Oh, true. Oh,
he
truly,
would get
yes.
Every single one of them mixed up all the time.
Oh, yes. Categorically, yes. Yes. So thank you so much, Crow. What a lovely story. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much.
All right. This is the last horror. I'm saying it. It's the last horror.
It's the penultimate story.
It's the penultimate story. Normally, I'm sure, I don't know. You probably haven't noticed, actually. But we have cut down the amount of stuff that we cram into an episode.
Yeah, it means we can spend a little longer, like,
on
dissecting and talking about.
Exactly.
Because sometimes I think we're like, oh man, we did 15 stories the first time we did this category. So now we've got to do 15 stories every time. It's like, we just, like people just like it when we talk and interact with each other. Yeah. So just putting less in and having more time to just gas on about each one.
And it means I can put in slightly longer ones too.
Yeah, which always
because
feels good.
We always say like send in whatever you want, but obviously longer ones sometimes cannot be read because they are too long.
Because they're so long. Sometimes.
But now that we put slightly less in, it means I can actually just take the longer ones. Yeah, exactly.
And the longer ones, a lot of the time, like, because they take so long to explain.
There's so much context to them. Exactly.
Juice.
Yeah. Agreed. Well, agreed.
There's juice.
Agreed. So this is your last horror. This is the penultimate.
You get juice.
So listen.
Get juice to it.
Do whatever you're doing with your fucking clogs. I don't know.
Yeah. Put them on. Slide your clogs
on. Do
we
whatever you do.
We need the wood polish.
Yeah.
We need to keep them nice and shiny.
Yeah.
We don't want those dull-looking clogs. We want nice.
The entity wants to see themselves in the reflection.
I would like you to tell me in the comments down below what wood your clogs are made out of. Is there a specific wood that you're supposed to use for clogs? Is there like a soft wood that you need for clogs? Please tell me.
Yeah.
I know we have some Dutch friends in here.
Man, I'd like to know.
I imagine you probably know a little bit more about clogs than me because I know nothing about
Nout. Absolutely nout. So this is the penultimate.
Thank you very much.
This is sent in by Anonymous, please. And they use they, them pronouns.
Anonymous, please.
Thank you so much. So I played D&D mostly with people that I know through a larger community, and I've made a lot of friends through that.
Very good.
I've played quite a few games with 2 DMs in particular who are my close friends, and I've been playing in their games for about 5 years now. Because of my play style, I've developed a reputation for general consequence enjoying gremlin who is down for everything. The best type of player.
Me.
Yeah, the best type of player.
I don't think I'm the best type of player, but I am a consequence gremlin.
I do love a consequence
Especially
gremlin.
when I'm a player.
I do. I love that. The games I play in are roleplay heavy, and I love mess and drama as long as everyone is having fun. And usually I'm the person trouble is inflicted on, since the 2 DMs know I normally play well with these The 2 DMs I normally play with know I'm a safe bet if they want it to be a surprise, and they know my boundaries pretty well by now.
Awesome.
I've also had fellow party members hit me up in advance for heavy emotional roleplay scenes, or to be the person to push their character into emotional moments. I personally find it very fun since I like the complication, and I find roleplaying heavy scenes in a safe space very cathartic. Because the people I play with know my boundaries and I know theirs, it's all around a good time. That's exactly how I feel.
Yes.
Like 100%, that's exactly how I feel. Like I've mentioned, I've developed a bit of a reputation, and someone who I've only played with briefly in a one-shot invited me to their horror-themed homebrew. I'm a big horror fan, so I said absolutely. Now, I know that there are people who will instantly say I had this coming. I had this coming. But I made a character with a family. Like a partner and a couple of kids at home waiting for me to come back home, sort of thing. The DM had mentioned that it was a kill-heavy campaign, so I made it very clear with him that I'm cool with general fucked up things happening to my family, including them all dying. However, I did not want my kids in particular to die on screen. If his plan...
That's very fair.
That is so very fair. If his plan was to kill them, all good. I just did not want to witness the actual kill because it made me uncomfortable, and knowing me and how into my characters I get, I thought it could provoke a reaction that would just not be fun for me or for the rest of the players.
Fair.
I'd be fine with my character just finding their bodies instead if that had happened. Mm-hmm. I wanted to make that incredibly clear. It wasn't like I walked into this horror game thinking my in-game family would be unscathed. I knew it was likely that they would be hurt or die. Mm-hmm. That's very self-aware of you.
I was about to say, it's unbelievable. You clearly know yourself very well.
Indeed.
You clearly know what you are and aren't comfortable with.
Yeah, you've obviously spent a lot of time with yourself.
Yeah.
Like self-reflecting.
Mm-hmm.
So, wow.
And you seem to be very, very, very clear.
You seem to be a good communicator,
with what you want and don't want and stuff like that.
Yes.
And, especially if people know that you're usually down for everything, just being like, these are the very few
things that I have to draw the line at.
Small things that I am, like, just not comfortable with. Can't wait to hear how they disrespect this. Can't wait to hear where this all goes wrong.
How about votes in the comments for where this is going to go?
You take a guess at what's going to happen here.
Yeah, what do you think is going to happen here?
Exactly what they didn't want to happen.
Interesting you say that. Interesting.
Very interesting.
So we start the game, and the party within a few sessions gains the ire of a politician in the city who we're in, and who we find out has connections to a serial killer that is becoming well known in the area.
Interesting.
My character's family lived in a village just outside the city, so between sessions, me and the other players were getting hyped that my character's family was basically in direct line of fire, and I was excited for some possible early game grudges to span for the rest of the campaign, depending on what would happen.
Brilliant character development.
That's a great way to look at it as well.
To my family, I'll never forgive you. I'll hunt you until the end of time.
100%. The next session starts, and as we get to my character's village, we see dead bodies, including the dead body of my character's partner. The party runs to my PC's house and thankfully find her children bloody and scared, but alive. There's a heartwarming moment where I vow to slay any monster that comes for my children, and we all camp out inside my house.
Love it.
In the middle of the night, the serial killer kidnaps us, ties up the party, and proceeds to slowly and in graphic detail brutally torture and murder my PC's children in front of us. This was literally my one and only line. I was very clearly upset, and all the other players, but not the DM, checked in with me afterwards, and I all told them I specifically requested for this not to happen. I reached out to the DM after a couple of days, and I told him I'm dropping out. That event leaves my PC in a very visceral place, and I'm not comfortable with role-playing, as I don't think that I or the party would find that kind of anguish fun, and that personally I was very hurt that he would do that after I asked him not to, and he agreed. I was told that I'm just a whiny baby.
Okay, yeah, it's us who are the problem. Interesting.
And he thought I was down for anything, but I guess I'm just soft after all.
Shut up. Oh my God. Shut up.
I tried to explain all the dark stuff he's heard happen to my characters in other games with people I deeply trust, and I know my boundaries, and they know my boundaries are hard lines, not something to thrust on me whenever they feel like it. I left it at that, and I left the game, and most of the party followed after they found out that I had left. This was a few months ago, and this DM still pops up every once in a while in the community we're both part of, but I stay away. And most of my friends there don't really interact with him anymore either. One of my DM's friends straight up banned him from ever joining his games. And so they should, by the way.
Like, I just, when we're running games like that, we have to be really clear.
Yeah.
If we're running like really like horror specific, like games, we need to be really clear with what we do and do not want. And this person, like the OP, sounds very much like they know exactly what they are comfortable with. They're usually fine with everything. They draw a couple of lines that it's just like, this is not what I want. But apart from that, you can go crazy. You're like playing into it. You're like, my family can die. Even my kids. It can happen to my kids. But I just don't want to see it. And for this person to just completely disregard that one single thing that you asked for, nothing else. You weren't like, I don't want this, I don't want this, I don't want this. And if you were, that's also absolutely fine. But the fact is, you said this one thing. I don't want this one thing to happen.
And they did it.
And they did it.
And they did it. And not only did they do it, it sounds like they planned it.
And they did it because.
They did it because of that.
Yeah.
They saw your boundary and they took it as a challenge.
They took it as a challenge.
And they took it as a, oh, well, and you know what?
Can't wait to do this one thing.
What is so cruel and fucked up, and it always happens with people like this. Oh, I thought you were cool.
I thought you were cool.
I thought you were down for anything, but I guess not.
This is a you problem.
Yeah, and you know what? That is nothing but a reflection of themselves. And we've all heard it. We've all heard, oh, I thought you were cool. Oh, I thought you'd be down with this. Oh, I thought that. And
I thought you'd be down with this, even though you explicitly told me you were not down with this.
Like, that could not be more of a mirror to the person saying that to you.
Oh,
that could not be
God.
more of a fucking open, like a blinding insight to what that person is like. The second someone tries to turn it on you, being like, man, thought you were cool. It's like, you never gave a fuck about me.
Nope.
You never gave a fuck about the boundaries I set.
Yep.
And just the pure disrespect.
The
pure disrespect
one
to
thing.
do that.
I asked for one thing. I didn't give you loads of hard lines. And again, if you did, that's fine. But like, I give you one thing, and you know I'm the person in the group that's down for almost anything. And like, I'm the one that consequence like happens to, because all my DMs know that I like, that's just the person I am. And you took that and you fucked it.
Yeah, and
you
they
took
weaponized
that and
it.
You shattered it.
And they absolutely weaponized it. And
100%.
They honestly, with them saying, I thought you were down for anything, that is them weaponizing your personality traits against you and turning it into a negative when it's not a negative.
It's not
that's
a negative.
Huge positive.
It's a huge positive. Like as a dungeon master, you need these people.
Yeah.
You need these people who are like really, like, you know, within the boundaries of things that they're comfortable
just down
with.
for whatever.
Down for whatever happens. They'll go with the flow. Like, you can, you know, have them lose so they can win later.
Yeah.
So they have that sort of like rise, that like Phoenix moment of like, you were down at the bottom, you were the Empire Strikes Back, and then you like had that character arc at the end where you finished at the top, and because of that, it's amazing. not every player is going to be okay with that.
No.
So like when you find one of those players, you need to hold them tight because as a dungeon master, they're a great storytelling tool for
definitely.
you.
Yeah,
like, for
definitely.
You to, obviously, they're a player. They're not just a storytelling tool, which is all this person thought you were.
Yeah. And man, what a stark difference, by the way, between OP, who is clearly very self-aware, who is very a good, clear communicator.
Very unbelievably clear, by the way.
To this DM who couldn't be further from the opposite. And you know what? I feel like you don't realize it until you see like the two stark differences there.
Yeah.
Like, man, this DM would do well from just a little bit of self-reflection. What?
Is he looking at himself?
No.
Oh, sorry.
Yes, he is. Sorry.
Should I clap off with the dog?
Dog was indeed licking himself.
Yeah. Like, again, and the thing is, like, I don't know, so it didn't sound like this person was part of the group. It sounds like this was like a new member.
Yes, yeah.
But it just goes to show, like, when you play with, like, new people, and this is why we do it. This is why we do things like hard lines that we don't cross. This is when we talk about safety tools and things like that. Because this person is down for 99% of things.
And man, what a quicker way, by the way, to lose the respect of not only OP, but their whole friendship group, this whole community. There's no quicker way, by the way, to have the person in the community who's like, I'm down for whatever, but this is the only thing. Now you're going to be known as the person who upset the person who was down for anything.
Yeah. You're the person who took the player who's down for anything and ruined it for them.
Yeah.
You're the person who shattered their trust.
Yeah, 100%. And man, in such a tight-knit community, I cannot imagine if something like that happened in our community. My goodness gracious me.
We've had moments like this.
We have.
People have like almost tried to push the boundary in our community for a joke, and it's just like,
and then
banned.
They're no longer in the
gone.
community.
You're just gone.
100%. I couldn't imagine.
We'll just never stand for it.
No,
it's
100%.
Like, you know, we are here for a good time. We're here to respect each other. We're here to make sure that everybody's okay. You know, and there's different levels of that within the community, and you have to understand that. But as soon as you take people's trust and you try and play with it, and as soon as you take people's like feelings and you try and like make jokes about it, you're gone.
I hate the juxtaposition. Sorry, I hate the juxtaposition of OP being like, they listened to me. The kids are alive.
Yeah,
they've given me this moment.
Yeah.
They've listened.
They've listened to everything I said.
Not only that, my kids are alive, and then to have that, you know, when you get that like pit in your stomach feeling.
You got baited.
You got baited.
You got fucking baited.
Got baited.
You got baited because they were like, I'm going to make them feel, I'm going to pretend like I listened to them.
Who wants to do that to someone?
I'm going to leave the kids alive, and it's going to be this whole thing. Do you want to know what? There's even the potential. Imagine this. They got back to the city, the town. They realized that the kids were still alive. They realized that their like partner was dead or whatever. And then the dungeon master was like he gave this big speech, I'm going to vow to kill any monster or whatever, stuff like that. And the DM was like, they're not sad enough. Guess I'll kill the kids next time.
The thing is, I also really don't know how you can sit through seeing that, hearing that, knowing behind the scenes that this person doesn't want it. And in that moment, to still go through with it. How, like, you know what? It's going to piss me off thinking about it.
I'm already pissed off.
I'm pissed off as well. Anonymous, I'm so sorry. I am so sorry that your clear, obvious communication and your boundaries...
Your very good, clear communication
were used against you.
Yeah.
Normal people will not do that. I know you know that. Normal people will not do that to you. It takes a real piece of shit to do that. And they've outed themselves.
Big up your friends for being like... I left, and then the rest of my friends left.
Totally. Yeah,
because
100%.
you know we stick by each other.
Yeah.
And you know, like if you make one of my friends that uncomfortable and you disrespect their boundaries so much, I don't care that you are gonna dislike me because I left. I'm leaving.
Yep.
Like that's the shit that we need to do for each other.
Agreed.
We need to stick by each other. And as soon as somebody does that to one of our friends, we leave.
Yeah. Agreed. 100%.
We leave. We all leave.
Yeah.
And then we let everyone know.
Yeah. Solidarity, innit?
We don't want people like that in the community.
No way.
We don't want people like that. I don't care if it's just like, oh my god, you're kicking this person out of the community. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because they deserve it.
And I do it every 100%. Time.
Anonymous, I'm so sorry.
Same.
Hey, I'm glad you left. There's nothing I can say that you don't already know. I feel. So thank you so much for your story.
So much.
And I'm sorry.
Yes.
All right. This is the last one.
Yeah.
How about we end on a wholesome one?
I think that's a good idea.
I haven't put another wholesome one in. It's just another horror. All right, this last wholesome story, and the last of all the stories. This has been sent in by this. This has been sent in by Tofu, and they use they them pronouns.
Tofu. Thanks so much.
Tofu. Hello, this is my second submission to the show. The first time was anonymous, but if my party hears this, I want them to know it was them. You said in one of the recent episodes that wholesome submissions don't necessarily have to be a whole thing, so I thought I would share this sweet ending to my first full campaign. 100% your wholesome stories can be whatever.
Is gonna cry.
Yep, I am.
I can feel it already.
Here we go. My fiance and I made a couple of friends with his co-workers like in early 2021. We all turned out to be nerdy and into D&D, but none of us had really played before. My now bestie, but then close acquaintance, was a forever DM who offered to DM something for us, and thus began the Forged in War series. Cool as fuck. I played a young Owlin Ranger boy who was sent away from home to become worthy of his throne.
Love it.
We played pretty much every week for a year and a half before ending the campaign in a 6-hour in-person session that included a themed menu of food we had encountered, all handmade by one of our players.
So good.
It was the first time ever finishing out a character's story, and I will always carry a little piece of Ferrigan with me. I hope I'm saying that correctly. Since we didn't do any post-final boss sessions, I decided to try my hand at DMing with a small 3-shot centered 15 to 20 years in the future. My young Owlin boy had grown into a grown Owlin man and took over his father's throne. He invited all the PCs to his bachelor party.
Yeah, let's go!
The night before his wedding. My bestie/DM got to play a PC we adopted along the way, and I let everyone level their characters up to 20 to experience the full potential of their class. It was my first DM experience, and it couldn't have gone any better. I made, printed, and snail-mailed wedding invitations to everyone, asking them to come a night early to take place in Ferrigan's bachelor party. The roleplay was amazing, and everyone followed my clues so well. The premise was that Ferrigan had been kidnapped the night before his wedding, and the party had to find him. Of course, it was all just a prank, and in the end, they were joyfully reunited. It was such a great time, and it gave me the courage to DM my first long-time campaign with my current Discord group. Thank you for listening, and long live King Ferrigan.
No! I mean, he's not dead, so...
What a joyful story!
Such a good story.
Oh my god, so much joy!
It's like, look, I love all the aspects of Dungeons and Dragons about it as well, but the main thing is, you've made a best friend through Dungeons and Dragons.
Yep.
You have, you know, like, it's sort of like, it's like what happened to our group, you know? Like, it's just a group of people who, you know, we knew each other. Like, I used to go to school with Josh years ago and stuff like that, and you've been friends with Matthew, but you sort of drifted apart. And you know, you hadn't really ever spoke to Abby, but you know, when you like started hanging out with her, you were telling her about our D&D session, and then she came to join us. Just like how just a bunch of random people and their love for Dungeons and Dragons have just made a difference to each other's lives.
Yeah, totally.
And I just love that. Like, now you've got a best friend, and now you've like taken up the courage to start like the next campaign with your Discord group. It's just like, I just love how Dungeons and Dragons can just bring everyone together, and you know, friendships are formed and bonds are formed that you're just never going to forget.
Me too.
On your deathbed, you'll still think about those moments.
100%.
Because they're just so special. I just love it. I just love it. It just means so much to me, and it just means so much to Margaret as well. And the fact that you all clearly share the same passion about D&D, and about the fact that it's not just a game. It's a social, for a lot of people in this community as well who struggle with the social aspect of life. Maybe not so much me and Margaret, but you know, like a lot of people do, and it brings a lot of people out of the shells, and it allows people to express themselves, and it allows people to, you know, create friendships where they otherwise probably wouldn't, because they struggle doing those things. I just can't imagine a life without it.
No, me neither. God, no, me neither. I couldn't either. And, you know, that's not even to mention, like, the catharsis that you can go through D&D, the themes that you can explore, in a third person view where it's you, but it's not you.
It's not you.
And, you know, like it you know, for me, that's been a huge thing for me.
Yeah.
Being able to work through things that, you know, I either don't want to in real life, I can't bring myself to, I wasn't at the right point to do so.
Yeah.
Like D&D means so much, and this is why we read out the fucking shit horror stories. So anyone listening who has been through something similar or had an experience with some shithead is like, man, that isn't what D&D is.
That isn't it.
And that's why we read out the wholesome ones to show you what D&D really is. This is
what it really means.
Yeah, what it really means. And you know what?
Making best friends, making memories, making fucking lifelong friendship groups.
Totally.
That we're just never going to leave. Even if we drift apart later in life, we can look back on those moments fondly.
Exactly. And you know what? Online as well. You know, D&D has taken up a huge online space now.
Massive
and
online space.
Just because you're not friends face to face doesn't mean you're not best friends online.
Yeah,
we've made some incredible friends online,
100%.
like through the community, and they've made meaningful connections too.
Yeah.
And you know, all because of D&D.
All because of TTRPGs.
Yeah, 100%.
Role-playing games where you pretend to be a fucking owl.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter who you are. Doesn't matter what you've been through. Doesn't matter where you've come from. Doesn't matter fucking what you identify as. It doesn't matter what religion you were from. It doesn't matter what fucking country you're from. The fact is, we all love TTRPGs. We all love each other. And D&D and TTRPGs are the thing. It's just the glue that brings us together.
Yeah, well said.
I just fucking love it.
Yeah.
It's just so good.
Me too.
And then you have cockends who are like,
yeah, I know.
I'm gonna fucking murder your two fucking children in front of you.
But the thing is, they don't get it.
Fuck off.
They don't get it.
They just don't get it, and they'll never get it.
They'll never get it, and they will never know what it's like to have that sense of community,
camaraderie,
to have that sense of like true joy for others. Like, they will never know that. And you know what? That is such a shame for them. But at the same time, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make
a drink.
You know?
Just can't.
Like,
you can show people Dungeons and Dragons and TTRPGs and Pathfinder and all this stuff. You can show them it. But if they just don't get it, they'll never get it.
And also, you know, if you don't get that from D&D, that's totally fine as well. Yeah. If you just play it to have a fun time, to play with your friends, it doesn't have to be anything more than that, by the way.
But that's still it. That's still it.
Yeah.
It's, let's just say you're a person in life who used to have a really like thriving social life, and then you got a job and you fucking grew up and you didn't get to see anyone. But then everyone's like, do you want to play D&D? And you get to just fucking
goof around,
smash goblins together.
Yeah.
Once a week with your friends, where you get to forget about your life.
Yep.
It's doing exactly what it's meant to do.
Totally, God, totally, 100%. And not everyone needs. You get whatever you need from D&D.
Exactly.
I feel like that very personally. You get what you need from it.
Yeah.
And just if you don't get that stuff, it doesn't mean you're playing it wrong.
No.
It doesn't mean that you're not getting it.
Are you having fun?
Exactly.
Then you're getting out what you want.
As long as you're not hurting others, as long as you're not hurting yourself.
That's it. That's literally it.
That's all that matters. As long as you're thinking of others and you're considering others and you're raising other people up while also allowing yourself to be raised up, that's all that matters. Genuinely.
The only thing.
Yeah, it really is. Well, Tofu, thank you so much for the beautiful story. And yes, long live King Ferrigan.
Long live King Ferrigan.
Long live King Ferrigan.
I hope they wear their clogs.
And I think that's a really good place to end it.
That's a brilliant place to end it.
I mean, I say that as if there's more. There isn't. That's
well, that's the place it's being ended.
That's all it is. So.
Thank you so much to everyone. Hit the like button if you like what you saw. Subscribe if you fancy seeing more of this content. Ring the bell to be notified when we upload a video on a Monday and a Thursday. Leave a comment down below about the size of your clogs.
Oh.
What size are your clogs?
Damn.
Do you have to get slightly bigger shoe size because it's clogs and they're a little bit more rigid?
Do you have wide feet?
Do you have wide feet?
Like me.
Do you need custom clogs? You can't just go to Clogs R Us and pick up a fresh set of clogs.
Oh.
You've got to get them custom made.
We will be streaming tomorrow.
Yeah.
7 p.m. GMT. Oh my God, daylight savings, by the way.
Oh my God, daylight savings.
I bet daylight savings absolutely messed up our American friends. It's going to mess you up all over again.
Yeah.
Just so you know, we've just had daylight savings here in UK.
Yeah. So back on previous schedule.
Yes, exactly.
That was more than a month ago. So 7 p.m. GMT, just
whatever that means to you.
Whatever that means to you, wherever you live in this godforsaken world.
Yep.
Neither of us have got any merch on.
No.
www.eldritchpodblast.co.uk. Go and pick up some t-shirts or some hoodies. Directly supports me and Margaret. Thank you so much to anyone who has. Our Hellbound Etsy store is linked down below. Go and pick up any D&D goodies down there. Spell cards, notebooks, mugs, t-shirts, and things like that. All there. Code Podblast will get you 10% off a discount. Thank you. Anyone who's bought anything from that directly supports us as well. Anything else?
Oh.
I love you very much.
I love you.
Bully loves you very much.
Yeah, once again, he's a fan of you today, actually.
He is a fan of you.
Yeah.
We've been the Eldritch Podblast, and we're going to see you on Monday. Bye!